Hello everyone! So today I've got this Warspite replay for you guys. It's been a while since I did a World of Warships video, so I thought it was time. I still have some issues with recording sometimes, and I really wanted to get this video out. So the quality might not be as good as I had hoped. I mean, it could be a lot better. But hey, at least it's a video, and it's better than nothing. So yeah. So as you can see, I'm playing the Warspite. I thought it would be fun to create a Warspite replay since, you know, the British battleships are coming. Warspite is a Queen Elizabeth class battleship. Her sister ship, the HMS Queen Elizabeth, is going to be in game, and she will be different than the Warspite, but like Warspite, of course, she will, you know, carry the mighty 8 15-inch 45 caliber guns in, you know, 4 turrets with 2 guns each. So yeah, I really enjoy Warspite, and yeah, I do hope that you know, we get to see that we, you know, get to have fun with the new British battleships. So as you can see, Fuso got in range. I did not shoot at her because, you know, the Algerie was in range, so I shot the Algerie instead. Got some nice damage, 8,322. It's not bad. I had hoped for a Citadel, but you can't have everything, you know. So yeah, I went over towards the A point to support the A cap. Personally, I always prefer to go for the A and B cap in this map if you spawn on the south and ignore the C cap. As I told people in chat in the beginning of the match, you don't see it actually on the footage that I said it, but well, it might pop up at some point if someone else says something in chat. But yeah, the Charlie cap, it's of course closer to the enemy, and you know, they can just put smoke in between the gaps in between the islands, you know, put up a spotter plane, fire you from stealth, torpedo, ambush you, and it's really going to be hard to actually capture that point from the enemy, especially if you look at the fact that, you know, the majority of the enemy force is there. So yeah, meanwhile I continue to fire on the Fuso, but it dies before I can actually hit it. So I just, you know, keep angling, I keep swiveling my ship, making me harder to hit if anyone decides to fire at me, especially because the Warspite, she does take pens from literally every angle for some, you know, reason, because her armor is a bit dodgy in the game mechanics. I decide to, however, to turn towards Bravo, not push into the Alpha cap, because, well, I mean, they only have 1 cruiser there, and we've got a cruiser, a battleship, and a destroyer. So yeah, meanwhile I fire at the Bayern, and you know, as per usual, you know, I aim for the deck armor or slightly below the deck armor, and I get a solid 12k damage on it, which is, you know, really good. So yeah, I'm just going to stick around the Bravo cap and just, you know, punish these battleships for, well, giving me so much broadside, because, I mean, look at this. This is just... It's just perfect, and you know, 1 Citadel, 1 overman. It could have been better, but you know, still, it's a Citadel. It's not bad damage. So I turn to show my rear of the ship a bit more in the hope that, you know, my stern, the 2 turrets on the stern get in range a bit faster, but they don't. So instead, I decide to, you know, create a bit of an S-like maneuver and just point my bow a bit more against the ship. I did not fire because I realized that, you know, with that angle, I would be easy to get shot on the broadside by the Bayern. So I decided to remain out of detection. Besides, the Graf Spee is about to get away from behind the island, so it gives me an easy shot against that, which I'm taking now. And the Bayern turns away, so not as good a shot that I had hoped. one pen, I think, just penetrated the torpedo belt, but did not cause any damage. The rest of the damage was, of course, just the two overpens. But still, I mean, you know, it's a cruiser. I always prefer to fire up cruisers to support, you know, the destroyers. Just like I always prefer to take out destroyers rather quickly. So I got 2 more shell hits on the Graf Spee, which is now undetected. And meanwhile, I decide to, you know, turn towards the right again, turn my turrets left, because obviously that Colorado is showing, you know, me a perfect broadside, and you know, it's just too good a target. Meanwhile, you know, the rest of the enemy ships are behind, you know, the island anyway, so I get, you know, another 5 hits, and she explodes. I did not get the kill, sadly enough, but yeah. Meanwhile, I just, you know, keep pushing forwards a bit, turn my turrets to the right. At least that's what I was doing. However, I decide to turn to the left because, well, as you can see, their ships are about to pop up away from the island again. Well, I did not entirely do that. Well, I don't know. Eventually, I turned to the left though. I recorded this replay a bit more before the commentary. So yeah, I pinged the destroyer, you know, please fire on the destroyer, because I absolutely hate them. I send out a spotter plane in the hope that, you know, if I get shot at by torpedoes, you know, the torpedoes don't hit me. Meanwhile, I decided to fire on that cruiser over there, and I get 2 pens, pretty good. And of course I turn away. I do not want to go head on against a destroyer without there being any cruisers nearby. Despite the fact that I'm pretty comfortable in the ship, I just prefer not to take, you know, a bunch of torpedoes. So instead I just decide to stay here and stick with the cruisers and hope that, you know, if the destroyer wants to come after me, it comes after me, and meanwhile, you know, fire on battleships. Sadly enough, did not get enough hits on the buy-in to kill it, but you know, I still got some hits, and of course it took damage. Meanwhile, I get away from around the island. Yeah, the reason again for, you know, going behind the island, I mean, obviously I didn't have to, but I felt a bit more comfortable in putting the island behind me and the enemy destroyer. Not to forget that I actually do have a destroyer somewhere that is not detected, that has not been detected for a long time, and that I believe is still at full health. The other destroyer, however, did get sunk. So yeah, I basically just decide to stick with these, you know, cruisers. Meanwhile, the Graf Spee shows itself again, which was not a very good idea. So I turn, you know, I shoot at it, hope to get some nice hits. Meanwhile, I turn in again to, you know, expose the rest of my ship. My salvo hits, kills it, and well, the Graf Spee got 1 pen on, you know, the bow of my ship, but I don't really care about it that much. Also, I have been shot at remarkably little this one match. Yeah, though I did stay a bit further back, of course. Although that's kind of how I usually play Warspite. The same goes for Hood when I play her. Simply because, honestly, I think that they do get penetrated rather easily. They're not really, you know, brawling type battleships. I get ready to fire on the Miyoko, but as you can see, she took heavy damage. So yeah. And well, there was no real need for me to fire on her anymore. The Hatsuharu shows itself and it barely took any damage. And this is, I think, the second time in the game she actually got detected. Also, I've not really seen her do that much. Though I point her out, but I can't really fire on her. Because of the island is in the way, so instead I turn to the New Mexico. Which is, again, showing me a lot of broadside. And, of course, I get to punish her for that. With a nice salvo, getting my damage I dealt in total up to 80k damage, which is, in my opinion, not really bad for this game. I mean, of course, there are loads of other people you'll find on YouTube that make videos that consistently get, games above 100k damage, but I'm just not that good. Closer to average, if not average or below average, I don't really know. Honestly, I don't really care. I mean, I'm having fun in this game. And I have the idea. I know how to play it. So, yeah. I shoot at the Pensacola, of course, at this close range. I can hardly miss her. And then there was just the Congo, which is hiding, and the Hatsuharu, which is hiding as well. So I turn, but as you can see, the match is over. Alright. So, if you're wondering what, I'm running, this is what I'm running on a Warspite. When we go to the ammunition and consumables, I am running a premium repair party, or damage control, I mean. Premium repair party. And the normal spotting aircraft, if you want, you could run spotting aircraft too, which I actually can do. I mean, I've got 147 of them available. So, yeah. Upgrades, I'm running main armaments modification 1, aiming system modification 1, because I like dispersion, and aircraft carriers just are not that common. Although if you hate carriers, or if you would just prefer it, you can run the AA guns modification 2. If you want to just make that AA a bit better. Then I'm running damage control system modification 1 to reduce torpedo damage and fires, and steering gears modification 2 for just being able to dodge those torpedoes a bit faster. Then for the captain skills, I am running preventative maintenance just to make my turrets a bit tankier. I like to keep my turrets up a bit more. So yeah. Expert marksman. Royal Navy turrets turn really slow, so the faster turret turn speed is, really good. Superintendent, because why not? Extra consumables, extra repair, especially since, this does have a Royal Navy repair party, and I like Royal Navy repair parties. Concealment expert, for the concealment. Fire prevention. Warspite does tend to get set on fire, although in, the last replay I did not really get set on fire that much. I just didn't get shot at that much. So yeah. What else can you go for after this? Or what could you change? Instead of either fire prevention or concealment, though I would choose to keep concealment myself. You can go AFT if you want to, just increase your AA range a bit more. Then you can opt for BFT, just to buff your AA a bit more. You can add Adrenaline Rush to, buff your reload a bit. Jack of all trades, especially if you're running Jack Dunkirk, to, reload those consumables faster, get to repair your ship more often. Priority targets, of course, nice, because if, someone swaps to torpedoes, you will be able to see that, because, just momentarily the indicator will say that one less ship targeted you, though that is something that you have to keep attention to a bit more. Direction ascent for catapult aircraft can work, although usually I prefer to run that on ships that just are, a bit, are equipped with a fighter rather than, a spotter plane, although I'm not reliant on the planes too much. I mean, as you could see in the replay, I do use them, but I just don't use them often enough to use this. And as I said, the amount of carriers in the game is just not high enough, you know, to justify buffing AA that much, in my opinion. But yeah, that was pretty much it, you know. That was my Warspite review, or not really review, replay more like, you know, I love this ship. Yeah, Warspite, Royal Navy, awesomeness. Like, really, why wouldn't you love the Royal Navy? I mean, they have the best looking battleships ever. So I'm really looking forward to that line. And yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, currently there are in the combat missions, the ships and T missions, obviously. This replay was from last week, so yeah, I haven't really started this one yet. But yeah, the ships and T missions, if you complete the 3rd stage, you will, you know, unlock one of the British battleships or something like that. You know, it said it on the website. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you to do that if you're interested in playing the British battleships at some point. And yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. If you want to see more, you know, subscribe. If you have any advice, any criticism, anything to say, you know, leave a comment. And you know, maybe I'll reply. I will try to, you know, if it's something, question or whatever. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.